All right, welcome folks. So I want to go ahead and talk about the Nord Stage 3 and is it worth it now in 2024? Short answer is yes, of course it is. Let's just kind of go down to the basics, right? You're looking for a keyboard or a synth. Now, if you're looking for just a keyboard, then get a digital piano, right? Because you don't need all the synth stuff. It's cheaper, save you money, get a digital piano. But for those looking for an all-in-one synth, I like to recommend the Nord Stage 3 as a main board because I love the piano, Rhodes, and organ. The bread and butter sounds, they're just there, they sound great. At the end of the day, it's all about sound, right? So this sounds fine. Like that sounds great. If you don't like this piano sound, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with your ears. But they got so many piano sounds. I mean, we got the Royal Grand 3D. The Royal Grand, the Grand Imperial. We got the Grand Lady D Steinway. Italian Grand. Velvet Grand. And they all sound different. So they all sound great. And then let's not forget about the Rhodes, or the uprights. Uprights sound amazing. What else we got here? Ooh, the felt upright is cool too. So amazing upright pianos. They have all the character. So we got the uprights, we got the electrics. And of course you can add the effects. I mean, man, let's go ahead and cut on a chorus. Here we go. I mean, that's just the vibe right there. Then we can cut on the auto pan, one of my favorites. And that's just one patch. That's just the EP1. But I mean, it's like, this thing sounds great. It's got the same sounds as the Nord Stage 4. And that's what you got to think about. So if, again, this is kind of a long topic, sorry. Nord Stage 3 is a word to 2024, yes, and we're just going through why. First and foremost is sound. This thing sounds great. The sounds don't change when the Nords upgrade. Of course, you get more sounds available to you, more hardware, more memory. The synth changes a lot, but as far as like the core bread, butter, piano, Rhodes, and piano, it's the same library. They just came out with the Nord library 4, so of course that one's only compatible with the 4 and the piano 5. but it's not like the sounds are drastically different. So from a sound perspective, if you're just after a good sounding board, this will save you money and it's still more than worthy. Heck, I'm still playing. I haven't upgraded yet. Do I want to? Yes, but who's got $6 grand? For those who do, I'll support you. Go get it. Especially because that's Synth engine, but we'll get to that later. Nextly, so we talked about the sound. Obviously, I showed you some of the piano engine. I'm not gonna go through all the sounds, but I just want to give you a taste. So this thing sounds gorgeous. So the sound is great. Next thing is just versatility. Is it still a versatile board? And the answer is yes. The biggest improvement to me for the Nord Stage 4 compared to 3 was the fact that you have the upgraded Nord Wave 2 synth engine. Yes, they made other upgrades, like having drawbars on all the models and having the ability to have bass on the drawbars, and they added some cool piano dynamic stuff. That stuff is great, but I call this quality of life features. In terms of like the absolute hardcore necessities, the synth is what makes the 4 so amazing, and the effects engine, because now you can have unlimited effects. You can use simultaneous effects is what I mean. Because right now I'm on panel A, I can only use chorus for, I have to choose between organ, piano, synth, whereas a new one, you can do it in any one, which is great. So you can have simultaneous effects, and the synth engine is a Wave 2. I used to own a Wave 2. That synth is amazing. So the fact that you get that synth in here makes it a very, 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 very lethal main board, because you can get all of your main sounds going, and then you can get one more synth, and with just 2 keyboards, you can have an absolute monstrous rig, because that thing is like 4 layers. So anyways, from a versatility standpoint, this still does everything you need. I mean, I've got my foot pedal worked up, and you can hear that pad in the background. I mean, man, that's lush. I don't know what else you can complain about. I mean, and I'm using 1 panel, 2 effects, and 2 sound engines. This is not even like the craziest program. Like, I've got presets where I've got the entire thing rigged out, but this is still versatile. You've got everything from your arpeggiation with the synth. You can modify filters on the fly. The effects is still really, really good. And you also have the ability to layer your organ and everything on top of that. Let's So, sorry, I'm getting lost over here. So versatility is still there. The fact that you can layer engines at a click of a button, boom, now it's gone. Back to the roads. You know, if you want to change to a piano, just like that. So the versatility between being able to mix and match all these effects, and you still have the external section. So sounds a check, versatility is a check, and then synth. The synth, I think, is still very much relevant. I wonder if I have a synth patch of mine up here. The synth is very, very, very much relevant. It is the lead A1. Now, this is a custom synth that I made, so this is not factory default. That sounds great. The synth is great in this engine. What I like about it is you have all your necessities as far as your waveforms, but then it gives you the ability to mix and match and blend between two oscillators. Your LFOs are there, your attack, decay, and release are there. It's kind of different because it's ADR instead of ADSR or ASDR, ADSR, but that's okay. I haven't found any limitations with it, and I think it makes it kind of user-friendly. Because really, once again, this isn't meant to be a dedicated synth where where you're making a bunch of modulations because it just doesn't have the capability. This is just to give you flexibility. I mean, I've never longed for more in a bass board. If you need more, get a dedicated synth. Prophet 2 Rev 2 recommendation, and the Nord Wave 2 because I love both of those. But I've never felt like I'm missing out. I do wish I can do more sometimes, which is where the stage 4 comes in because it's got the extra stuff that I want, like the polyphonic arpeggiator and some other things. But for what I do with this board, it hasn't left me lacking. And the fact that you can load and use your samples, that is huge because being able to load and use your samples, some of the things that you can't do on here, you can make up for it. So you can, go online or not go online, you can hop into your computer, pull up your VA, make a couple bass patches, and then load the bass patch in here and then tweak from there. And then whatever limitations you thought you had, you've now overcome. So the fact that they let you, they put the option in there to have the user loadable samples is really, really huge. And that's what makes this board still relevant today. That's the main things. I mean, of course, I could go on forever with the features in this board, but the point is this board relevant in 2024? Is it a good investment? The answer is yes. Now, there's always caveats with it, right? If you're looking for the most future-proof option, then of course, go with the Stage 4. Not because it's newer, but specifically because the hardware, the synth in it is just completely different and is better. It just is what it is. The Wave 2 engine is phenomenal, and the effects engine and the synth engine alone make it worth it for me. One day I'm saving up to get it, so I really love to have that board. But I know I could, do all my synth stuff to my heart's content with that board. I really miss the polyphonic arpeggiator I had in the Wave 2. And then having the physical drawbars is really cool. That's kind of a big deal, especially if you're an organ player. And then, of course, some of the piano upgrades as far as dynamics and things you can do. That board's a beast. But if you just need good sound and reliable sound and a good amount of options, this board does it. There's not a song you can't play with this board. Just straight up. Like every song you hear on the radio, you can play this board. And the only thing that you can't do is like certain synth stuff, which you would be better off with a dedicated synth anyway, which you probably either already have one or you'd want one anyways. Because you got to think about it. That's why I said this is a great main board. And that's the key takeaway you got to pay attention to. When I say main board, this is what I mean. Of course, you got your bottom board, you got your top board and whatever else. I mean this as the heart of your rig because once you get into all your auxiliary stuff, you're playing different keyboards anyway. So yes, you can split and layer, but when you think about, hey, if every song's gonna usually have some type of underlying piano, Rhodes, organ, and like main synth patch. So you got to hold that down, and then you got your specialty tools to handle the other types of jobs. So I highly recommend this as the main board. I've got a track coming up that's I've got a track that I made strictly with just this board, strictly with just this Nord. That'll be playing at the end. And that is every sound you hear besides obviously the drums came from the Nord. So the bass, the synth, the piano, the organ, everything came from this Nord. This Stage 3. So I just want to show you how versatile it is in terms of what it can do. I already showed you it can do, that smooth R&B, neo soul. Of course, it's got it can do synth stuff just fine. I even have, let me see if I got more stuff programmed here. Let's see here. And even stuff like that, I was talking about versatility, being able to morph everything. I've got mine patched up so I can morph from Rhodes to piano at the push of a button. I got my pedal designed to do the synth and organ. Bring that synth in. So you can also get this preset in the link in the description below. But again, this board is killing. 2024, if you're on a budget, you can't afford the Nord Stage 4, and you're wondering, is a Nord Stage 3 right for you? I say take a look at it. It's still right for me. You guys seem to like my music, which thank you very much for listening. And this board is killing. It's got everything you need. Again, the Stage 4 is great if you want to have that extra synth power and the extra effects power. But as far as like what you need to get records done and get songs done and play gigs, this is more than enough. You can do whole tours with this. Tours will still be done with this board. You can do all sorts of productions with this. I mean, this by no means is a slouch, and you should by no means look over it just because it's not the latest and greatest. With that being said, you can also probably save a lot of money on it as well, because the new board is $5,700. You can get these B stock, for $3,800 in less use. So I highly recommend checking out the Nord Stage 3. It is 1,000% worth it in 2024. And it will be probably, honestly, for the next year or two. And unless you're a die-hard synth guy, which if you are, you should probably have a dedicated synth anyways, this is gonna get the job done. So anyways, that's it for me. The track is coming up next. You can check that out to hear exactly what kind of sounds that I got out of this board with a recent track that I made just a few days ago. Catch you guys in the next video.